Good morning, Florida. Welcome to another Odoo market analysis. As always, my name is Kaleem Khan. I'm one of the partnership and alliance team leads here at Odoo Inc. And along with me, I have my colleague Matthew.
Yep, Matthew Van Veenendaal. I work with Kaleem on his team as a partner recruiter. So helping people that are interested in learning about the partnership program and maybe becoming an Odoo partner. If you see our number and email here on the screen, feel free to reach out after this webinar. We're more than happy to help guide you along.
Yeah, and super excited. We love Florida.
Love Florida.
So let's talk about our agenda for today. We're going to first talk about the opportunities in Florida. We will follow that up with a deeper dive into a market analysis for the state of Florida. And then we're going to pivot a bit. We're going to talk about our partnership program in a little bit more depth and talk about a partner case in case there are a lot of people out there, just like you watching right now, that are interested in becoming a partner. So before you can talk about any sort of market analysis, we need to understand the ERP market as a whole. And North America is the place to be. It's not only a third of the global ERP market, which is insane, but we're predicted to be or crossing about $40 billion in 2030. So a lot of dough there. And we're seeing a consistent growth, about 9.5% growth year over year for the ERP market as a whole. And we are predicting that about 75% of this market will be SaaS when we get to 2030. And that's amazing for Odoo. But it is also amazing for anybody who's interested in the North American market. And there's a few reasons why North America is such a hot market. It's actually one of the markets that has the fastest cloud adoption. So that is always helpful when you're talking about SaaS type services. We also see that North America has the highest concentrations of large enterprise clients, but it also has some of the largest concentrations of small to medium-sized businesses. It's a land of opportunity, guys.
Yeah. And these small and medium-sized businesses are looking to adopt technology more now than ever. And we're seeing that, every day here at Odoo.
Yep. And that's actually a perfect transition into understanding Odoo. Odoo at its core was focused on the SMB market by providing them a all-in-one beautiful ERP system that was not only affordable, it was scalable, it was very easy to use. I mean, you're going to use this software to run your business, so it makes sense that it's easy to use. But from there, because of the open source nature, it is extremely adoptable to a lot of large enterprise clients and a lot of complex industries. And Matthew can tell us a little bit more about Odoo as well.
Yeah. So when you're looking at a typical business these days, a lot of the time they look similar to the side on the left here. Multiple disjointed softwares, a lot of different subscription fees. Not only that, but then multiple logins or having to pay to have them all work together. Odoo's looking to solve that problem. We have a full host of different applications that we're going to get into in a moment, but you can even see on the side on the right all the different kind of tools that we would be able to replace using a tool like Odoo. And not only that, it's a very seamless process where with Odoo kind of starting with our accounting and invoicing modules from the very beginning, we've built all of these different applications in-house, no acquisitions. So we did them with the purpose of having them seamlessly work together. And so if you ever take a look at Odoo, you'll see whenever you add a application to your database, it creates all the necessary functions to work together.
Yeah. And speaking a little bit more about this, I oftentimes used to work with a lot of small businesses, and they're running 14, 15 different applications just to run and operate their business, a ton of data silos. And it becomes a really big issue when it comes to scaling. Yes, it's great that Odoo has pretty much all of these applications that it can replace, your Salesforce, your DocuSigns, but the beauty behind Odoo is all fully integrated where you don't need to, like you mentioned, hop between different softwares, different feeds, different user experiences. Odoo helps resolve a lot of that.
Yeah. And another crazy part about Odoo too is the affordability. Every user, paying for a user gets you access to all of these tools
Yep.
that we can see here. So at the very center, what we have is the finance applications, accounting, invoicing, and then we have tools to help with sales. CRM for opportunities, sales for quotations. We got website apps to help with building your own website. With an e-commerce connection as well. Any kind of contacts or contact us forms that come in through the website automatically can be automated to go to a salesperson or create a process. We got operation apps with inventory, purchasing, project management, field service, HR apps to keep track of your employees, your payroll, time off. We have tools for marketing, whether it be SMS, social media, email, productivity apps for keeping track of your documentation or interacting with your colleagues internally. And then can't forget about manufacturing applications. Not all businesses use manufacturing, but the ones that do, they really like our flexibility and the ability to kind of take what Odoo offers and build on top of that. And that can all be built on top either through some custom development, or in the bottom left, you can see our customization tool with Studio, essentially being able to customize Odoo with no Python experience, no coding experience, creating automation rules, new data points, all within Odoo.
Yeah. And again, for the SMB market, this is perfect. It really has everything that you can dream of. And even for the large enterprise clients, you can even use Odoo as a point solution too.
hmm
Maybe you're using a certain software to handle manufacturing, but you want to handle accounting and sales with Odoo. We can fully integrate both systems together. So
hmm
there's so much flexibility here that Odoo is a place to be.
Yeah.
Now let's look at some of the business opportunities for the state of Florida. But
hmm
before we do that, let's look at the Florida market as a whole.
hmm
Now, the interesting thing about Florida, it's one of the largest and fastest growing concentrations of small and mid-sized businesses in the US, which again, like we've been talking about, happens to be Odoo's kind of
Yeah.
core model. And this is spread across so many different industries. Think about tourism in Florida, hospitality, real estate, healthcare, logistics, you name it. And there isn't a single ERP that is dominating the Florida market.
hmm
So, again, a great opportunity for people to go ahead and implement Odoo for a lot of businesses that can really take advantage of it.
And we recognize, in Florida, there's a lot of Spanish speakers, also other languages as well. And Odoo comes fully prepared for multi-language functionality. If you have multiple companies and you want to keep track of them individually, or you have companies across the world, Odoo has the functionality right out of the box to make it easy for you to handle those kind of complexities. So when you're working with Spanish speakers, it's very easy to use our translator tool, make it completely seamless.
Yeah. And Matthew was telling me earlier, there's so many languages out of the box with Odoo because we are a
hmm
multi-global
All over,
global entity. Yeah.
all
All over
over
the
the
world.
globe.
And now let's also look at the addressable market for the Florida. There are about 3.5 million small businesses, which again is about third largest concentration in the U.S.,
hmm
representing about 99.8%
hmm
of all the businesses in Florida.
hmm Yeah, and when we're looking at kind of the Florida market, we see there's around 3.8 million workers in the small business space. Around 40% of the state's private sector workforce are in small businesses.
Yeah.
And with that being our main focus, there's plenty of opportunity to find a local business that's looking to take technology to the next level for their operations.
Yep. And some of the sectors or industries for Florida that are very common, as you can see on the screen, real estate, hospitality, tourism, healthcare, logistics. These are a lot of industries that are dominating the Florida market,
hmm
and they work well with Odoo. We have a few modules that you can see on the screen right now, for example, like the rental,
hmm
POS, inventory applications, all modules that are given to you when you get a single license of Odoo.
hmm
And there's a ton of buying power in Florida. Florida has a huge economy, about $1.83 trillion. It's the fourth largest state economy in the US. So that is something that partners like you can
Hmm.
obviously take advantage of. There is a lot of businesses here, there's a lot of potential here, and there's a lot of revenue to be made.
Hmm. And one of our most common states, right? Florida
Yep.
is one of our top 5 states when it comes to Odoo licenses and clients.
Yep.
So,
And now let's kind of pivot into a deeper market analysis for
mhm.
the state of Florida. And Matthew can kind of break down what we're going to go ahead and analyze.
Yeah, we're going to be going over multiple data points. And one thing I do also want to point out here is this is all generated from our own CRM usage.
Yep.
Odoo is one of our largest customers. We use it ourselves. I use it every day. So if I'm ever looking to report on leads or subscriptions, I can do that myself. And so when we're looking at these data points, they're all real time. Well, I guess not real time because we're looking at 2024 to 2025, but we're going to be looking at the measurement of generated leads, the active subscriptions, and the highest growth and comparison of the specific industries that we're looking at with Odoo.
Yep.
Hmm.
So let's go ahead and look at some of these leads that we generate the most in Florida. And if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and talk about the top five.
Yeah.
So right now we're looking at the top 5 industries with the most generated leads for the state of Florida. As Matthew was mentioning, we're looking at the data from all throughout 2024 and 2025 directly from our CRM. So we're going to see that the number one most generated lead by
Hmm.
industry for the state of Florida is wholesale and retail. This accounts
Yeah.
for about 22.7% of all the leads we generate, which is insane.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of interest here in the market for Florida, and is actually is a key structural vertical for the
Yeah.
Florida
No
market.
surprise, really.
No surprise. Yeah. Number two, you're going to see construction and renovation now.
Hmm.
So this is about 15% of the total amount of leads we generate for Florida. So again, it's an active market and our second largest. You're going to follow that by the finance, legal, and insurance industry. This is a bit lower, about
Hmm.
8.7. So the third key industry, and it's actually been fairly consistent across a lot of the different market analysis I've done in other states. Now you see manufacturing and maintenance, which again, as I've done a ton of these market analysis, I've always seen manufacturing and
Always comes
maintenance.
up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always part of the top 5. And you're going to see this as we go into subscriptions as well. So a little sneak peek there. And then lastly, we have IT, communication, and marketing. It's what we consider like a rising star, but it's definitely a market that is in demand. It's equivalent to about 7.6% of all the leads we generate for the state of Florida.
Hmm.
So now let's go ahead, compare that to the places we actually close
Where we see
subscriptions.
the active
Yep.
subscriptions. That's right.
And we'll have Matthew take care of this one.
Yeah, so when we're looking in Florida, the top one is going to be the manufacturing and maintenance space with 28.3% of our total subscriptions. It's interesting to see that compared to the amount of leads that we're getting in that space, but we'll cover that in a couple slides here. And then, to no surprise, wholesale and retail at 20.3%. It covers so many different categories, whether you're a grocery store, a furniture store, selling clothes, all of these different businesses need software, whether it be point of sale, inventory, and Odoo offers, that kind of solution that makes it seamless for these businesses to operate. Next, we're looking at IT communication and marketing at 9%, and then food, hospitality, tourism, and beverage at 6.6%. What you would typically expect from a state like Florida with,
Yep.
fantastic restaurants, cubanos, nice bars, dancing. And then last but not least, of the top 5, science and technology at 6.6%.
Yeah. And now let's go ahead and do a little bit of a gap analysis
Hmm.
here, where we're going to go ahead and compare the leads that we generate in Odoo and then the subscriptions that we close in Odoo. And you're going to notice a few things here. So wholesale, retail, manufacturing, very, very rock solid industries. if this is going to be a market that you want to specialize in, again, there's no issues. It's
Yeah.
consistent. It's there. It is a great place to focus. But one thing we're going to look at, so as you see on the screen, wholesale retail accounts for about 22.7% of the leads we generate and roughly about 20% of all these
So
subscriptions.
they match up pretty
So they
well.
match up
Yeah.
very well there. But manufacturing is a different story.
Yeah.
Manufacturing, it's again rock solid. However, it's only about 7.6% of all the leads we generate,
Yeah.
which is interesting to me.
Yeah.
And then you see on the subscription is 28.3% of all these subscriptions that we close.
Yeah.
So when I look at those numbers, I see something very interesting here. I see a opportunity for partners like you to focus on marketing yourselves as manufacturing experts in Odoo in the state of
And
Florida.
I feel like that almost shows that that's what's happening already. You know, why are there less leads and more subscriptions? It's probably because we have successful partners in these spaces that have produced great solutions for manufacturing clients and then have taken those solutions and shown other businesses in similar spaces and said, hey, look at this great solution we've been able to produce for this client. Isn't that something that you want to see for your own business? And so that's what makes up 28.3% of our subs
Yeah.
in Florida.
Yeah, and again, a great marketing opportunity here. Focus on that if you are looking to get into manufacturing. Now, the other two, again, are going to be another interesting conversation here. So, IT communication marketing, fairly stable, like wholesale retail. 7.6% of leads in our CRM, about 9% of the subscriptions we close. So, pretty
Yeah,
consistent there.
that's kind of what you expect.
But construction and renovation.
Yeah.
Maybe Matthew, tell me, what do you see here?
Yeah. When I see something like this, it shows that we have businesses in the construction and renovation space that are looking for a solution. They want to maybe take a step away from disjointed softwares and look into something like Odoo. But it not being a high percentage of our subs, it makes me feel like there may not be enough partners in that space that are providing a solid solution for that industry and marketing it out there to gather more clients. One thing that I also notice is with a lot of these industries, something that we were talking about earlier is they have we have fully built out industry pages for all of these different kind of categories of business. So if you're ever looking to say, hey, how can a business use like a construction business use Odoo, take a look on our website, go to the industries page. You'll be able to get a great overview. And then if you're really looking to kind of go even deeper, you can set up a pre-built proof of concept demo for these industries and see how it really looks. So if you're an independent contractor, if you're a developer or a real estate company, from the construction side, we have demos pre-built for you.
Yeah. And I'll just add one thing on top of this. Again, there's another opportunity for partners like you. So let's just say you are in the IT space and you have a deep expertise in construction renovation or, for example, finance, legal, insurance. This could be a place where you now can take advantage of the market, where we are able to generate a lot of leads here. However, maybe there are partners that don't have their focus on this. That would be a place where you come in, where you can kind of bring your years and years of experience, for example, in construction renovation and implementing software for them, and now go ahead and show them how they can utilize Odoo, not only as a cost-effective solution, but a system that you can even build on top of to meet certain compliance needs or helping certain industries with additional softwares that they also utilize on top of an ERP.
That's right. I mean, when we're looking at some of our most successful partners, it's the ones that are taking their expertise in their industry and building something custom on top of Odoo. Odoo as a foundation is a fantastic platform, and it gives the flexibility to the partner to build on top of and build either custom modules or custom workflows. And your expertise in that industry is going to what makes you make you shine as a partner.
Yeah. And then now let's go ahead and look at some sleeper
Yeah.
industries, as we like to say. So we're looking at food, hospitality, tourism, and beverage. Again, this didn't make our top 5
Yeah.
for the percentage of leads in our CRM.
Yeah, surprising for Florida,
Yeah.
really.
But again, it is clearly a place where Odoo is successful because it's about almost 7% of all the subscriptions we close. So again, when I see something like this, I think, hey, this is a perfect opportunity for me to market myself as a partner that can take advantage of this industry,
Mm-hmm.
as a, let's just say, a partner that can handle tourism or handle hospitality, maybe marketing that on my website, or even going after clients in this industry, reaching out to them and showing that, hey, Odoo is a good fit. Look at all these tons of clients that have utilized Odoo in this industry. Here,
Yeah.
maybe let us show you something that Odoo can do.
And when we're thinking about these industries in particular, right, food and beverage, margins are so important,
Yeah.
right? They want to cut costs. They want to have a solution that's not going to fail on them and break. And Odoo does a great job of making everything seamless. If you need to keep track of your inventory, if you want to keep track of how sales are doing in certain months, this is all stuff that's possible within Odoo.
Yeah. And let's do a little bit of a conclusion here. So we know that, hey, if you're a partner that's focused on manufacturing and wholesale retail, you're good.
You're
You
going to
know,
be good.
focus down, double down on that. That's totally fine.
Hmm.
Now, there are a few places where there are big gaps. So construction and renovation, there's a huge gap. Finance, legal, insurance. So this could be a place where, again, a partner like yourself can focus on maybe bringing your expertise and helping take advantage of the interest there.
Hmm.
And then lastly, our kind of sleeper industries, as we like to say, places where we're not generating as many leads as we would like, but
Hmm.
clearly we are showing that we can close a lot of those customers
A
there.
great
So a
opportunity.
great opportunity for partners like you to focus on marketing efforts there and go ahead and do an outreach.
That's right.
Yep. So now let's look at some of the industries that are growing the most year over year. And you're going to see some interesting things here as well. For example, science and technology is probably the largest growing industry for the state of Florida.
Hmm.
It's about 103% year over year growth, which is pretty insane. So again, this could be a place where someone like you can take advantage of.
Hmm.
It's a market that is still fairly small. It's nowhere large as wholesale retail or manufacturing. So it could be a place where this becomes your niche, and as that market grows over time, you can be that big player
Hmm.
there.
And Clem, these are statistics from our current year. Is that right?
Correct.
So this is real time data,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
And so what we're seeing here are with these numbers is the change from what we've seen last year to what we're seeing in the current 2026 year.
Yeah. Now, another interesting thing here
Hmm.
is manufacturing and maintenance. So we saw how manufacturing maintenance was part of our top five lead
Hmm.
list, top five subscriptions. So you wouldn't expect a market like this to have so much growth, 99%.
Yeah.
But what it shows us is that there are a lot of clients in manufacturing in the state of Florida, and more of them are realizing the power of
Hmm.
Odoo.
It kind of matches kind of what we were predicting earlier, right? In those
Yep.
statistics and those data points is there's a gap, a space for manufacturing to grow when it comes to leads, and the numbers here show with 100% growth almost with the 2026 year.
Yep. Then we look into entertainment and media. So not one of the ones that we talked about
Hmm.
today, but this is a expanding sector, and there is sometimes needs for customizations for this industry. Maybe
Yeah.
there's some compliances. So this could be again a place where you can see a lot of growth. This is about 92% growth year over year that
Yeah.
we're looking at when we look at the data.
I'm curious to what kind of businesses in the entertainment and media space are looking into Odoo, but it is what you would expect from a state like Florida, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Hey, they have Miami, you know,
Yeah, and Disneyland.
and Disneyland. Now we're looking at wholesale and retail. So again, very similar to manufacturing. This has always been like a huge market for Florida, but again, it's still consistently growing,
Hmm.
which is pretty insane. And then lastly, we see utilities, energy, water supply. We have not talked about this
Yeah.
as our top lead, our top subscription, but it's still an industry that, with when you look at the Odoo data, is consistently growing about 86% year over
Yeah,
year.
and one thing that I would assume is similar across the board with all these industries is they're looking for an all-in-one solution like Odoo, something seamless where they don't have to bounce around on different applications. I can imagine no one really likes doing that, and people are realizing that more and more.
So now let's look at more data for Florida as a whole
Mm-hmm.
in Odoo. So one of the things you're going to see is we're going to evaluate data from 2020 to 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Odoo has been here for many, many years, but I typically like to look at the last 5 years
Yeah.
to kind of see a more relevant kind of scope of the growth here.
Mm-hmm.
So in that time period specifically in Florida, we've seen about 1,081 clients or projects. But a big surprise here is that almost half of them came last year.
Yeah.
And this is something common, again,
Mm-hmm.
across many of the market analysis that I look at. 2025 was a huge year for Odoo. And maybe you kind of felt this too, but I've been at Odoo for a number of years, and before people were not very familiar with
Yeah.
Odoo. But in the last few years, it's taken off.
Yeah.
Even when I go to different trade shows or business shows, there are tons of large companies that, oh yeah, we've heard about Odoo
The
before.
billboards.
The billboards,
People love the
Ubers.
billboards.
It just there's so much more brand awareness, which
Yeah.
is amazing, and you see that with the data in 2025, where pretty much every single state saw this huge jump in the subscriptions for
Yeah.
them.
And I think there's also a story to tell in was it the 2021, 2022 period of when we switched our pricing model as well?
Yeah, so we did initially. Odoo used to be almost like an a la carte model
Mm-hmm.
where you,
Purchasing whatever you want,
yes,
individual
yep,
applications.
paying per users for each one of those
Mm-hmm.
modules. But then I think it was around that time frame where Odoo switched to a per user cost, a
Mm-hmm.
flat
You
fee,
get all the
and you get every
applications. Yeah.
application. Which again, in my opinion, is great for these small businesses
Mm-hmm.
because not only can you go ahead and now replace all the different softwares you're using, but it gives you the tools to even expand.
Yeah.
Let's just say you're a brick and mortar store and you use Odoo. Now you can also use Odoo's e-commerce to even open up a new segment of e-commerce for your business.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you a lot of tools that you might have not had before or even thought of.
Mm-hmm. And so if you were looking at Odoo, maybe 5 years ago, this might be a new thing to learn. And but you can also see it really trends with the growth that we're seeing here. And I did do a quick look into some of the numbers for 2026, and I think we're on track for another 86 or so
Yep.
percent increase as well
Yep.
for the 2026 year.
Yeah, so about 87% growth year over year.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, at a very high level, when you look at 2020 compared to 2025, so just like this 5 year gap,
Mm-hmm.
you see almost a 2000+% growth.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I kind of feel that 2026 is going to be on this same trajectory
Yeah.
and you're going to have a pretty substantial
Yeah.
year.
And not only are we seeing it with new clients, but we're also seeing it with new employees, right, Cleem?
Yes,
We're,
yes.
when I started about a year and a half, and Cleem's been here longer, but a year and a half, our team was about half the size.
Yep.
So not only are we, looking for more partners to help grow our business, but we're looking internally to increase the amount of people here
Yeah.
in our office as well.
Yep. And this is again a great opportunity to talk about our partnership program and what it actually means to become a partner.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll take this slide to
Yeah.
help people understand what a partner is. So essentially, partners are service providers for end customers, and they can come in all different flavors. Example, we have partners that are strictly business consultants. We have partners that focus on accounting and they're accounting firm partners.
Mm-hmm.
We have partners that focus on custom software development. Again, Odoo's open source, so
Yeah.
it really gives you a platform to build on. You have partners that focus on hardware, infrastructure, network, marketing agencies, and most importantly, software implementations.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, partners are companies that are looking to provide services to Odoo customers, and a majority of them are software implementers because
Mm-hmm.
that's where a lot of revenue comes from. And maybe Matthew, since you work with a lot of partners on a day-to-day basis, do you mind sharing a little bit about our 360 growth program here at Odoo?
Yeah. So when we're looking at, how do we help our partners? From the very beginning, we're wanting to support you with the commercial and functional support. What that looks like is helping you better understand Odoo from a software point of view. How do you market Odoo? How do you make yourself more unique? We provide marketing materials, app specific materials to essentially support you in understanding Odoo and how to kind of grow your specific consultancy or partnership specifically. Tailored training sessions. This could be looked at in a variety of ways, whether you want to do it through your own self-taught method, learning through our tutorials online or some of our master classes that you get access to as a partner, or if you want a teacher-led, instructor-led course, we have very in-depth boot camps or technical trainings to really take you to that next level. So whether you're more of a consultant that wants to understand the kind of basics of Odoo, our boot camp is a great solution. If you're a developer that wants to understand the technical side, our technical training is going to take you to that next level. And then when we look at the third point here, access to Odoo SH. Odoo SH, if you're not familiar, is what we consider our platform as a service. It's going to be the server or database that we essentially put Odoo on. We host it ourselves. No cost to there's a cost, but you don't have to do the cost of maintenance or keeping track of how the servers are running. And it gives you a platform to really build on top of Odoo. We have a really cool integration to Cloud Code as well. It's one of my focuses a little bit, something that I'm really interested in. So what we're seeing, and Kaleem can talk about this too with his experience with his partners in the past, the time to essentially build something on Odoo has been accelerated by 5x in some
Yeah.
circumstances.
Yeah, we're able to again develop faster, better using a lot of AI, which is really amazing that Odoo is one of the platform that has already integrated into Odoo
Hmm.
SH. But on top of that, Odoo being open source can also add whichever AI agent you want, and
Hmm.
that's really being something that I've seen increase in the market today, where more and more partners are focusing on AI,
Yeah.
helping with not only implementation but helping optimize a lot of the operations for your end customers.
Yeah. And what has AI been learning on? It's usually open source tools. And
Yeah.
Odoo being one of the largest open source tools out there, AI understands Odoo.
Yeah.
Do you want to take
Yeah, and
the?
then we'll talk about the access to business opportunities here. So, as Matthew had mentioned, Odoo has a lot of internal resources that
Mhm.
focus on helping partners not only grow their business, market themselves, but we also focus on providing opportunities from Odoo. And this is something that happens very often when you start really working with your account manager, which I'll talk
Yeah.
about a little bit because I do have a partner case that really showcases
Mhm.
this. So, there's a lot of opportunities, but we do focus on helping partners generate their own leads, and then we provide to see if we can provide some sort of supplementals for them.
Mhm.
And then lastly, monetization. So there are a few ways that you can monetize in Odoo on top of all the services you provide. And those are in the form of commissions
Mhm.
from every single license that's sold and even selling Odoo SH.
Yeah. And then also don't forget the renewals as well.
The renewals,
As
it is
you
recurring.
gather a list of clients, not only are you making commissions on bringing in new clients, but as they stay associated with you, you're making commissions on their renewals as
Yep.
well.
Yep. Oftentimes, most partners can almost get the ROI back within the first
Yeah.
year within one project. So now let's take a little deeper dive into that monetization aspect.
Hmm.
So what we're looking at in the purple is the commissions depending on your tier.
Hmm.
So in Odoo's partnership, there's essentially three tiers. You have your ready partners who are new partners into the ecosystem. You have your silver partners, sort of mid tier,
Hmm.
and then you have your gold partners that have been in Odoo for some time, or oftentimes they're just really great in expertise and they're able to gather a lot of customers. And we'll go over the KPIs in a bit, but you're going to see that your licensing commission increases as you increase in your levels.
Hmm.
So every new ready partner is going to get about 10% commission on every single license sold. A silver partner is going to get about 15% commission on every single license sold. And then a gold partner is going to get about 20% commission on every single license sold. It is reoccurring. So as your portfolio of clients grow and these clients are renewing their subscriptions in Odoo,
Hmm.
this commission now goes from being just a cherry on the top to a a pretty sizable
Yeah.
chunk of revenue that you can expect every year. And it's oftentimes things that partners will utilize for marketing or pushing back into their own
Yeah.
system.
Their own
So
training, for
own
example, too.
training,
Yeah.
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 And then you have Odoo SH commission. So throughout my time at Odoo, I've worked with a lot of partners, and a lot of partners actually prefer paying clients on Odoo SH
Yeah.
just because it's so much more convenient, and it makes lives easier for clients as well, where they don't have to focus on infrastructure. But when you actually get a client on Odoo SH, we even give you 50% of the hosting costs.
Yeah.
So again, this could be a good chunk of change for you for every single project.
Yeah, I think like on the low end, it's an additional $500 of commission on the very least per client, and then can go up to somewhere, what, like, is it like 8,000 per year or something like that, or is
It's
it
about 20, I think about 2,700 per year
27,
per
27,
project. Yeah.
27 per year per project?
But yeah, it's additional commission on top.
Yeah,
Uh, and now let's focus on like the big money maker, implementation,
yeah,
services, support, consulting. So this is 100% profit for a partner.
yeah.
Odoo does not take a single dime from this, and you can charge your own implementation rates. In the US market, I've seen on average between 125 to about $300 per hour USD.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this could be something that you package into maybe a deal,
Mm-hmm.
maybe implementation plus support plus consulting. You can bundle that together and charge a higher hourly rate. But this is something that you can work with your account manager to try to see how you can be competitive in a market, but still make sure that you are able to make the margins you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, we have probably one of the largest third-party app stores out there. And we have partners that are consistently developing and adding integrations to that marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
And you as a partner can sell those applications there and profit 70% from the sale of those. So it is another revenue stream for you if you are focused on developing and publishing modules
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the Odoo ecosystem to purchase.
And that can look at like either, potentially an integration to another software or building out a more custom module on top of
Yep.
Odoo. And sometimes that's something people want to offer on the App Store. Other times it's what they want to make their secret sauce, right? They want
Yeah.
to say, hey, this is a solution that I've built myself. I'm not going to put it on the App Store because that's going to bring me more clients to offer this special solution.
Yeah, and you can even get creative with a lot of these integrations.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it could be a one-time fee
Yeah.
per version. Other times it's partners that offer the modules for free, but then there's tokens that you have to purchase for, like, for example, every transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of different ways to get
A lot of
creative.
options.
Yep. Um, and now let's talk about what it actually takes to become a partner. It's fairly straightforward. So Matthew, again, he's part of my team here, and he's
Mm-hmm.
works with a lot of partners on a daily basis. And obviously, the purposes of us meeting with a lot of partners is understanding their business plans,
Yeah.
understanding how they can be successful in Odoo, where we can help provide support, find their gaps. But one of the important things to understand is at the end of the day, there is two essential steps to become a partner. We have annual membership fees
Yeah.
that help provide all the services we do for partners, which is about 39.50 USD.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, getting certified.
Yeah.
It's really important. We require all of our partners to get certified within 6 months. And then as you see here with the KPIs to essentially increase from ready, silver to gold, you're going to see not only user requirements, but also certifications go up.
Yeah.
Because in theory, as you become a silver partner, you might want to have additional team members
Yeah.
on your
And
team.
it's pretty natural, right,
It's
Kaleem? I
very
mean, at that
natural, yeah.
point, you're going to want to have more resources. You're going to be too busy if you're a
Yep.
solo consultant. You're going to want to have people that know what they're talking
Yep,
about.
yep. I've seen this before where you have like solo one-man shows and they're great as ready partners, but once they start becoming silver partners, they're getting more interest from clients and they need to hire more staff. So you're going to see a silver partner need about 75 users to be at the status and need to have 3 people internally certified in Odoo.
Hmm.
And similar story here, the gold partners, they also need to have a pretty large team. Oftentimes, you're going to see them have obviously more than 6 certified employees, and they're bringing in about 300 new users each year to
Yeah.
stay in that status. So these are essentially the two basic steps. Obviously there's a partnership fee, and
Hmm.
there's a need to get certified here.
Yeah.
Um, and now maybe let's talk a little bit more about like strategies and partnership. And again, you do this oftentimes
Hmm.
too, and I used to do this very often. For example, when it comes to training and understanding implementation, that to me is a key for any partner.
Yeah.
So Odoo has a few options you were mentioning, like a
Yeah.
self-taught route. There is also a paid route, and oftentimes my recommendation has always gone to go do that paid route. It's called
Yeah.
our PLO program, and essentially what it is, it's a boot camp that can be anywhere from 7 weeks
Yeah.
long to
That's the main option, right? Is
yeah, the
7 weeks.
main option is seven
But if you
weeks,
need to do it faster,
2 weeks. Yep.
3 weeks, right?
It's about 2 3 weeks,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they go over essentially functional knowledge,
Uh-huh.
implementation and methodology, advanced configuration, and we can train up to 5 6 employees.
Yeah.
And the beauty behind this is you're having a Odoo consultant
Yeah.
train your team on every single one of these
Hmm.
steps. So and have confidence that the knowledge they have is correct and they understand and align with best practices in Odoo.
And this is also the same training that we give to our internal implementation experts, right?
Yep.
So rest assured, it's what we're using internally and want, our partners to see as well. And if you're like me, I could go on the tutorials on YouTube, but I get a little distracted.
Yeah,
So having an instructor keeps you accountable. You can ask the questions. It's easier to learn, at least from my point of view.
yeah, and I think there's a bit of a reality there where yes, there's tons of documentation, there's a
Hmm.
bunch of tutorials in there, but if you want to shorten that ramp up period and get to working on projects ASAP, it's pretty much a no-brainer to take a PLO, have them trained correctly, have them train, as little as 2 3 weeks, and
Yeah.
they're ready to go
Become
on
Odoo
and try.
experts very
Yep.
quickly. You know.
Now, another kind of place where you can have a more of a strategic partnership, obviously on the commercial and marketing side. So there's a ton of benefits Odoo gives. For example, it gives you access to our brand assets.
Hmm.
It markets you on our Find a Partner page. It posts you on the pricing page. So when customers are ready to actually
Hmm.
purchase the software, they can directly add you as their partner of choice. But this is where we also can leverage our internal resources. We
Hmm.
have internal marketing experts that can help you build your go-to-market strategies. And for example, even helping you with like Google Ads, LinkedIn Ads, Meta.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of resources that we can provide internally because at the end of the day, we want to essentially help our partners turn into selling machines.
Yeah.
We want to
And
help them market themselves and get clients themselves so they can be very self-sufficient on their
mhm.
own.
And if it's not marketing, online, we're also more than happy to do it in person. We have road shows across the country. We're happy to help contribute to an expo or
Yeah.
going in person and meeting people. So whatever it is that's going to help you bring clients, Odoo's just as interested in supporting that effort.
Yeah, and you're gonna see that we have a pretty nice partner case where one of the big things that they used to always do on a yearly basis is go with me and some of my team to a bunch of trade shows.
Yeah,
So a really great way to again focus on getting into new markets and doing it with Odoo.
right on.
Now, obviously, monetizing here, another, again, strategic way to handle this, and it depends on what kind of type of partner you are. When it comes to being an implementation partner, you got to understand your margins and ROI. And a great way to understand how to be profitable here is understanding how much to charge. Oftentimes, most of the partners that I've worked with would try to aim for about 150 USD per hour. And again, we focused on kind of building up the funnel. If we want to have X amount of revenue at the end of the year, meet X amount of partnership levels, we need to bring X amount of leads, we need
Hmm.
X amount of conversions. Well, we can go ahead and build out that full kind of sales funnel with them to help ensure that we hit our monetization goals. And then even when it comes to becoming a partner, there are a few strategies here. And you can speak to partnership advisors like Matthew. For example, we
Yeah.
can bundle certain types of trainings together to help bring the cost of the partnership and training a little bit
Mm-hmm.
lower. But there's a ton of trainings that are available at Odoo. And not only that PLO I mentioned, but there's a technical training
Yeah.
to help developers
Master
understand
classes.
master classes,
Yeah.
but technical training helps development partners understand how to properly develop in Odoo,
Mm-hmm.
where you're not going to have a lot of headaches later down the road, best practices. So a lot of different types of opportunities here where you can kind of strategize, be strategic,
Mm-hmm.
and get exactly what you need.
Yeah, and Clean made a good point. Me and the rest of our team, we're more than happy to kind of go over all of the different paths you could potentially take, and support you the best that you're looking for.
Yep. And now let's get into a success story for the state of Florida. And this one, again, is pretty near and dear to my heart because I used
Mm-hmm.
to work with this partner.
Maybe a little bit biased, Clean.
Uh,
No, I'm
I
just
love
kidding.
them. I love them. They're very sweet people.
Yeah,
But the partner we're looking at today, they actually became a partner in the US in about 2018. They have about 5 offices worldwide, which is amazing.
yeah.
They focus primarily on service, manufacturing, logistics, and high security. So, one thing you're noticing here is they have a niche.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not going to be a partner, which they can. They can do pretty much any project, but they want to focus on these niche where they can really take advantage of their expertise
Yeah,
and even build on top of Odoo for these industries, which is really amazing. They brought in about 3,100 users. 11 certified individuals and a 97% retention rate,
massive.
which is really great because what that shows is the projects that they're implementing, 97% of them are renewing their subscription and being in Odoo long term.
Yeah.
This was also a partner that used to go to a ton of trade shows and business shows.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes we would go out, Fab Tech, a lot of the big manufacturing shows. And this is a great opportunity for you to work alongside Odoo and not only bring brand awareness for Odoo yourself, but take advantage of a lot of large enterprise clients. Oftentimes, we would be meeting with some of the largest companies in the world
Mm-hmm.
there, building those relationships, and hopefully getting a lot of leads from there where our sales teams would work on and try to close.
Mm-hmm.
And the most important thing to me about this successful case or this partner was how willing they were to work alongside with Odoo on each project. I remember that when I first came in to managing this partner, we sat down, we learned a lot about each other, we learned about how we want to work together, and we focused on building sales strategies and building that trust. Where oftentimes this was one of the partners that I could rely pretty heavily on if I ever had a very unique case in Odoo. Let's just say it was in manufacturing. I knew that I could trust and rely on this partner to come in and knock a demo out of the park. That
Yeah.
was a bit more technical or a demonstration that required like development, and vice versa. This partner also knew that, hey, when it came to talking about licensing and leveraging Odoo when it comes to negotiations for customers, that they really allowed me to have a lot more liberty there, and would help provide support any way they could. So they had a very good relationship with
Yeah.
Odoo, and it shows. When I look at a lot of data of some of our top partners, you see the partners that really work hand in hand with Odoo. They're really increasing every single year.
Yeah.
They're the partners that, again, we have more trust in, but they also have a lot of trust in Odoo, and we can collaborate as a single entity to help provide a lot of customers out there with the best experience in Odoo. So,
Yeah.
a really amazing success story in Florida. And I was very lucky and happy to get a chance to work with them. And I'm pretty sure a lot of our account managers are going to be happy to work with partners like you who are interested in joining our partnership as well.
Mm-hmm. And this is one of the older partners that we've seen. 2020, 2018. However, we're seeing that level of growth for new partners as well. I
Yes.
know I remember seeing one partner that started, was it last year, and is already a gold partner. So
Yep.
it's not uncommon to see, new partnerships start and grow to the level similar to our largest
Yeah.
partners.
And again, the big thing that you guys probably saw in the data, 2025 was a huge year for Odoo.
Hmm.
So we have so many clients that are interested in using a software like us, where a lot of new partners could take advantage of that interest, and really close a lot of projects there and move up in our ecosystem. Um, but thank you guys so much for watching. If there is anybody that is ready to discuss partnership or take your business to the next level, feel free to contact us. You
Yeah.
have my contact on the screen, Matthew's contact on the screen. Feel free to
Hmm.
send us an email, phone call. Maybe don't call me after hours. You can call Matthew
Call
after
me after
hours.
hours. I'm always
Um,
available for Odoo partners.
but we thank you so much for
Yes,
watching
thank you.
the market analysis for Florida. And we want to
Oh
just
yeah.
end with just kind of talking a little bit about Odoo Experience. Odoo
Hmm.
Experience is one of the largest events in North America for Odoo, which will be taking place right here in San Francisco, September 2nd and 3rd, 2026 at Pier 27. It's actually a free event, so feel free to come. You get a chance to see over 100+ talks, meet with a
Hmm.
lot of partners, see the roadmap of Odoo, and even get a sneak peek of version 20. So if you do have a chance or an opportunity to come down here in San Francisco, feel free to come hang out with us
Yeah.
and come here and learn a lot about
You can come to
Odoo.
the PR booth and we'll hang out.
And then thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you guys next time.
Thank you.